Hello, good morning, friends. So, in last lecture, we complete anatomy of bacterial cell. So, today we are going to start uh, physiology of bacterial cell, in which growth and multiplication. So, bacteria divides by binary fission. So, generally in bacteriology, growth is considered as an increase in number. So, whenever the maximum cell size occurs, bacteria start the cell division, and such type of cell division is known as a binary fission. So, it divides by a binary fission. So in binary fission, what happens? Nuclear division proceeds cell division. Cell divides by constructive or pinching manner. In growth, transverse spectrum occurs. So in that anatomy, we studied that mesosomes. So in mesosomes, the holding inside the cytoplasm to cell membrane is called as a mesosome. So because of that mesosome, constructive or pinching form produced and transverse septum is produced. And here, the genetic material and cytoplasm divides in two daughter cells. So next, and the most important term is the generation time, or it is also known as the population doubling time. The generation time or population doubling time is the time which is required for the formation of two daughter cells from one cell. From one, two daughter cells are produced. That time is considered as a generation time or population doubling time. In all medically important bacteria, for example, coliforms, the generation time is approximately 20 minutes. Few exceptions are there, like the tubercle bacilli or Mycobacterium tuberculosis, which causes the disease tuberculosis. That one is slow growing organism, 20 hours, and Lactobacilli, Mycobacterium leprae, that is having 20 days. So these are the few example or exceptions in which the high generation time is there, while in all other, commonly it is a 20 minutes. Then multiplication arrested, depletion of nutrient, accumulation of toxic product. And for that, whenever we need growth of this bacteria, two type of devices we are using, and the name is chemostat or turbidostat. In chemostat or turbidostat, what we are doing? Replenishing nutrients. We are adding the new nutrients. Maintain the continuous culture. So continuous by adding and removing the toxic product, continuous culture we are maintaining. Industrial and research purpose. Such type of cultures are required for industrial or research purpose. That time, this either we are using chemostat or turbidostat method. In host tissues, the nutrients may be inexhaustible. The various maximum nutrients are present, but the parasite has to contain host defense, immunity, immunodefense. So that's why the situation is like a chemostat or turbidostat. Then bacterial growth we are measuring at two levels. So the first is increase in size. So increase in size, and whenever the maximum size that bacterial cell gets, it starts the cell division. Cell division occurs, it starts the dividing with help of the binary fission. The most important is the next, and that one is the increase in number. So roughly in microbiology or in the bacteriology particularly, the growth of bacteria is considered as an increase in number. When critical size reaches, cell division divides or cell division occurs, growth in number is considered or calculated by bacterial count. There are two types of counts, total count and viable count. In total count, counting of both type of bacteria, whether they are in live or dead condition. But in viable count, the counting of only live cells, measurement of live cells, dead cells we are not going to count. So total count, total number of cells, whether living or not, and the method uses direct counting. Counting chambers we are using like the Coulter, this counting chamber like the Newborn chamber. Then electronic device is also available, and very fastly we are counting the number of cells present in a given suspension, and the name is Coulter counter. Then direct counting, stain smear, then relative numbers in smear, opacity measurement by using the nephrometers, separation of cells by centrifuge, and chemical assay, for example, the nitrogen content measurement. All these we are applying for total count. For viable count, measures number of living cells. Clear Idea is measurement of only live cells or living cells. Dead cells we are not going to count it. So these are also obtained by two methods, dilution method and plating methods. In dilution method, suspension diluted to a point beyond which unit quantities do not yield growth. Viable counts calculated from the number of tubes showing the growth. Application, bacteriology of water or presumptive coliform count. For measurement of bacteria present in the water, drinking water particularly, we are using this method. The plating method, another one is dilution, inoculated on a solid media, surface plate or pore plate method we are using, and colonies that develops after incubation, viable count. So keep in your mind, one live cell produce one colony. In one colony, 1 lakh, 2 lakh bacteria may be present. So every 20 minutes, the cell division occurs, and because of that, a colony is produced whenever we grow onto the surface of solid media. So here the colonies are developed. Suppose in a given suspension, 10 bacterial cells, live cells are present. So 10 colonies definitely produce onto the surface of that solid media. So you measure the number of colony, and that is equal to the number of bacterial cells present in a given suspension. Method described by Miles and Mishra in 1938 and commonly used for calculation of viable count. Then the most important for your examination, always short out onto this, and that one is the bacterial growth curve. Bacterium seeds suitable liquid media. You take a bacterial cells and keep in a suitable liquid media we are using. Growth follows definite courses. Bacterial counts made at interval after incubation. Plot in relation to time. Growth curves we are obtaining. So 4 different type of growth curves we are getting. So which are these? These are, the first one is lag phase. The second one is log phase. The third one is stationary phase. And the last one is the phase of decline or death phase. So here number of cells versus the time. So these 4 different phases we are observing. So we'll see one by one. The first one is lag phase. Properties we are studying. Adapted to new environment. Enzymes and metabolic intermediates built which are required for the multiplication and increase in size of the cell. So what happens in this first lag phase? The cell size is increased maximum, and important enzymes and metabolites which are required for the multiplication is synthesized. Now the second phase start. Because the cell size is maximum, now they start the cell division. Suppose 100 cell, within 20 minutes 100 produce 200, another 20 400, 800, 16 like that. So multiplication occurs. And that phase is known as log, L-O-G, logarithmic, exponential phase. The various other names are logarithmic or exponential phase. Cells start dividing. So here cell division occurs and number is increased exponentially or by geometric progression. Here, what are the properties? Cell size is small, fresh cells. Physiologically, these are young, fresh cells. So that's why these are small in size and they stain uniformly, no variation in gram staining. Suppose gram negative, definitely they gram negative. Gram positive, gram positive. So no staining variation occurs. Now the third phase, that one is known as a stationary phase. After exponential growth, cell division stops due to the depletion of nutrients and accumulation of toxic product. So what happens? Suppose 100 cells are present. 100 remain as it is, the death of another 100 occurs. And that is because depletion of food material. So the food material available in that liquid media is utilized. And the another is, so during this growth, toxic products also stimulated by this organism or synthesized by this organism. Because of this region, the death of bacteria occurs, and that is exactly equals with the newly produced cell with the dead cell. Progeny cells replace cell that die. Viable count stationary. One more important feature of this phase is spore formation occur in stationary phase, because here the depletion of nutrient is there, unfavorable condition, that's why spore formation occur. Or secondary metabolites like the toxin or antibiotics also produced in this phase, and the bacteria shows variation in gram reaction. In gram staining, sometimes gram positive appears like a gram negative, or gram negative may appears like a gram positive. Variation occur. So these are the properties. The most important is spore formation. Always we are asking the MCQ, in which phase spores are produced. So in stationary phase, spore formation occurs. Now the last phase, and that is decline phase, or we are also calling it as a death phase. Population decreases due to the cell death, nutritional exhaustion, and toxic accumulation. So here what happens, all the food material present in that media is exhausted or over, and simultaneously the toxic accumulation, products accumulate, and that's why death of all cell occur. Sometimes few bacteria produce autolytic enzymes, and total counts, if you plot parallel to the viable count up to the stationary phase and continuous without phase of decline. So, morphological and physiological alteration. So this one is again important. Lag phase. So what we studied, maximum cell size. Log phase, cells smaller, stain uniformly. The next is stationary phase, gram variable, means that is gram positive may appear like gram negative like gram positive. Irregular staining, so that is once again irregular staining occur. Sporulation means spore formation always occur in stationary phase. Metabolic product, the production of the synthesis of antibiotic toxins, they are produced in stationary phase. And the last one is phase of decline. Involution forms may occur in decline phase. So this is about the bacterial growth curve. Now you observe this. This one is lag phase, log phase, increase in number. Again the stationary, the total number is exactly equal to the dead cell. And finally the viable count, phase of decline. And total count always the parallel, but in this viable count, death occurs, that way it is decreased. So very important, always short note on to this bacterial growth curve. So you read properly. Now the bacterial nutrients. Bacteria require nutrients, simple nutritional, then the higher cells. So according to the need of nutrients and the energy requirement and the metabolites, they are divided into different types, 4 types. The first one is phototrophic bacteria. Energy from sunlight. Those bacteria which gets energy from sunlight, they are called as a phototrophic bacteria. The another one is chemotrophic bacteria. Those bacteria which gets energy from chemical reactions. The one more is autotrophic bacteria. Synthesize all their organic compound, all their need, organic important metabolites which are required for the growth. They synthesize their own, and they are called as autotrophs. They are not medically important. They are present in the soil. They increase the fertility of soil. And the last and the most important for we people is the heterotrophic bacteria. They are unable to synthesize their own metabolites and depends on performed organic compound, depends on others. They are called as a heterotrophic bacteria, and all medically important bacteria, they are heterotrophs in nature, heterotrophic in nature. So these are the 4 different group of bacteria. Now the next criteria is the oxygen requirement. So always it requires oxygen, carbon, nitrogen for the growth. So the first one is oxygen requirement. Depends on oxygen requirement, bacteria are divided into 2 groups, aerobic bacteria and anaerobic bacteria. So aerobic bacteria means those bacteria which grow in presence of oxygen. Again there are different types. Obligate aerobes grows only in the presence of oxygen. Extreme. Always maximum oxygen is required. For example, Nigeria group of organism or Pseudomonas aeruginosa or Vibrio, it requires high amount of oxygen for their growth. one more group is there, and that one is facultative anaerobes. These are aerobes. They always grow in presence of oxygen, but can grow in absence of oxygen. So both. They are having ability to grow in presence of oxygen and also in absence of oxygen. They are known as facultative anaerobes. All maximum medically important bacteria from this group, they are facultative aerobe or facultative anaerobes. Now, the next and the most important is anaerobic bacteria. Grow in absence of oxygen. Those bacteria which are having ability to grow in absence of oxygen, they are called as anaerobic bacteria. Obligate anaerobes, so few examples are there. They grow in absence of oxygen, may die on exposed to oxygen. If you expose to the oxygen, death of this bacteria occur. They are known as obligate anaerobe. Microaerophilic bacteria, one more group is there, microaerophilic, grow best in presence or low oxygen tension. So they are called as a microaerophilic bacteria. Then, why anaerobic bacteria will not grow in presence of oxygen? Two reasons are given. One is, during the growth of this bacteria, H2O2, hydrogen peroxide, is synthesized. Aerobic bacteria, they are having the enzyme catalase, which convert H2O2 into H2O and inert oxygen, water and inert oxygen. That's why they grow in presence of oxygen. But in case of anaerobic bacteria, catalase enzyme is absent and they exposed to the H2O2, and because of the exposure to the hydrogen peroxide, the death of the bacteria occur. One more reason is suggested, and that one is all important metabolites and enzymes which are required for the multiplication, they synthesize in absence of oxygen. So these two reasons are there. Now after this, the requirement of carbon dioxide. Requirement of carbon dioxide. All bacteria require small amount of carbon dioxide for the growth. One group is there, capnophilic bacteria. So very important, right? This capnophilic bacteria require higher level of carbon dioxide, 5 to 10% for the growth. Well-known example is Brucella abortus, Nigeria, then the pneumococci. So all they are the capnophilic in nature. So always we are asking the MCQ, what do you mean capnophilic bacteria? So those bacteria which require 5 to 10% carbon dioxide for their growth, they are known as the capnophilic in nature. And for the growth of this capnophilic bacteria, we are using the candle jar. So candle jar generally we are using for growth of this bacteria which provide 5 to 10% carbon dioxide. After CO2, the next important point is the temperature requirement. Temperature requirement. Optimum temperature of most pathogenic bacteria, most medically important bacteria is 37 degrees centigrade. Because what is the reason? Because they grow in our body, human body particularly, and the human body temperature is 37. That's why all medically important bacteria are having the optimum temperature 37. Again, according to the requirement of temperature, we are dividing bacteria into 3 different groups, 3 different types. So these are the mesophilic bacteria, MESO, mesophilic bacteria, which grow in range between 25 to 40 degrees centigrade, and all medically important bacteria, they grow in this range, 25 to 40 degree, and that's why they are known as a mesophilic bacteria or mesophilic bacteria or medically important bacteria from this, they are mesophilic in nature. The next group, one more group is there, and that one is called as a psychrophilic bacteria. Those bacteria which are having ability to grow below 20 degrees centigrade. Below 20 degrees centigrade, they are known as a psychrophilic bacteria. They are not medically important. They generally grow in below 20 or minus 7 degrees centigrade also. And nowadays, it is studied that they are having ability to spoilage the refrigerated food. Spoilage of refrigerated food because of that psychrophilic. The last and is the thermophilic bacteria. The bacteria, which one is the group of bacteria which grow best in the temperature range 55 to 80. They are called as a thermophilic in nature. So these are also not medically too much important. but they cause the spoilage of canned food. Nowadays, the different juices are present. Now we are getting in a can, packed can, so the spoilage of that canned food is because of thermal death point. One more important point, point is there, and that one is thermal death point. Lowest temperature that kills a bacterium under a standard condition in a given time is called as a thermal death point. So different bacteria, they are having their different thermal death points. Next is the moisture and drying. So all of you know near about 98%, 95 to 98% water is present in a bacterial cell. So water is essential for bacterial protoplasm. Protoplasm near about having 95, more than 95% water. If you expose to the drying, definitely it is lethal. The killing of this bacteria occur, but the spores are resistant for drying. They remain as it is. But live cell, death of this live cell occur if you expose to the drying. Nowadays, one more term we are using, and that one is lyophilization. So this one is a method of the freeze drying and drying in a vacuum in cold preservation of bacteria or viruses in laboratory for years to years. For preservation of cultures in laboratory, we are using the lyophilization. The next important point is the H ion concentration. Bacteria sensitive to the variation in pH. Then the majority of pathogenic bacteria, they are neutral or alkaline pH. So maximum, optimum pH of all medical important bacteria is 7.2 to 7.6. So neutral or slightly alkaline. Few exceptions are there. For example, lactobacillus, that require acidic pH 4.5, or Vibrio cholerae that require highly alkaline pH near about 9.4. So these are the exceptions. While other than this, the remaining all medical important bacteria, they are having the pH 7.2 to 7.6 as an optimum pH. Then the next is the light. So bacteria grow well in dark, sensitive to the UV light, the die on exposure to the sunlight. One more group is there, protochromogens. Example is Mycobacterium tuberculosis again. Produces pigment on exposure to the light. If we expose to the light, this group of bacteria produce pigment. And example is photochromogenic Mycobacterium tuberculosis. One more term is there, or this physical condition is there, that is osmotic effect. Tolerance to osmotic variation. After exposing to the sudden exposure to the hypertonic solution, it gives plasmolysis. Sudden exposure, hypertonic solution, osmotic withdrawal of water. Water comes outside and plasmolysis occurs. Then the shrinkage of protoplasm. If you again transfer to the distilled water, that time intake of water occurs, lysis of or bursting of the cell occur, and that is called as a plasmolysis. So plasmolysis and plasmoptosis. So that one is called as a plasmoptosis. So plasmolysis, removal of water, and plasmoptosis, the intake of water and bursting of cell may occur. Then from last, this physical agent is the mechanical and sonic stress. Though cell wall is tough, double layer in case of gram positive. So rupture, mechanical stress, and disintegrated ultrasonic vibration. So ultrasonic vibration or mechanical stress definitely affects onto the cell wall. So this is about the physiology of bacterial cell. Now bacteria also require few nutrients for their growth, inorganic and organic salts. So these are the yes, bacteria must obtain or synthesize amino acid, carbohydrate, lipids, build up the cell. So all they require for the build up of the cell. So minimum requirement of bacterial growth is the carbon, nitrogen, water, iron, and energy. Growth requirement and metabolic byproducts classify different bacteria. So oxygen, already we know that. Then the carbon source, so that also we studied. So ammonia, it require, or nitrogen source it require, and they get from the natural source. Now mineral source, so require for the enzyme function, it requires few inorganic salts or minerals in small amounts. For most microorganisms, it is necessary to provide sources of potassium, magnesium, calcium, Fe, sodium, and chloride. So generally, whenever it grows into the atmosphere in environment, it gets from the atmosphere. But whenever we are growing, particularly this bacteria inside the laboratory in culture media, that time in culture media we have to add these inorganic salts. So many other minerals like this copper, zinc, and all they require and can be provided in a tap water or the contaminated of the water medium ingredient. Uptake of iron is facilitated by the production of siderophores, iron chelating compound, generally in enterobacterium. Then growth factor. Bacteria also require growth factors. So organic compounds, amino acids, sugar, nucleotides, a cell must contain in order to growth, but in which it is suitable for, it is unable to synthesize. So few growth factors are required. So again, there are two types: accessory growth factors and essential growth. In essential growth factor, essential means their presence must, we have to add into the culture media whenever we are growing. Otherwise, growth will not take place. They are called as the essential growth factors. And the accessory growth factors, after addition of this growth factor, maximum growth occur. So they are called as the accessory growth factor. Growth is increased. Then this temperature, pH, radiation already over. All this we studied. Okay, thank you.